Hello, everyone. I'm Nolan Myers, CEO of Double GDP. We're building an end-to-end platform for cities to connect with residents, accelerate growth, and deliver responsive public services. I'm here today to bring you a sprint update for November 11th, 2020. So this sprint, as always, we'll go through what we intended to accomplish this sprint, how we did against that progress, and what we hope to accomplish in the next sprint. So at a last sprint, if you recall, we rolled out a new primary KPI we had been measuring against weekly active users, and we decided to focus on population. Our goal of the sprint was really just to establish a benchmark for population and some of the key steps in the pipeline that will help us track progress toward that goal. In the product, we wanted to make progress, again, working on forms and form design and management, workflow design, and some gate access use cases. And continue to assist our customer Nkwashi with their product launch around their residency program. So how did we do against those goals? We do have a benchmark now. So I showed you this population goal as it extends through the end of 2021. And where we had hoped to be at the end of October is at about a population of 10. Now this is cumulative population across all Double GDP cities. And so we are right now right at goal in terms of what we wanted to, where we want to be. Next, we need to start looking at some of the leading indicators that will help us be planning ahead and thinking about what we need to get in place in order to grow that population. Some of the exciting areas in the last sprint are on the use of the platform itself. So I'll start with some updates there. We had our first 10 artists move into the second round of our Artist in Residence program. And we already have some content that's being created. There's a wonderful blog post by Esnelda about her first night at Nkwashi and sort of her observations there that I really appreciate. And then there's a marathon that's going to be held at Nkwashi in late November. And so we've been providing some support and thinking about ways that we can help from a coordination perspective and from an application perspective to support that event. So we're excited about that. And then Nkwashi has also used Double GDP to announce the 3 winners of their pitch day competition. So they have 3 companies that they've selected that are focusing on sustainable food and fishing, power, solar powered, different companies that are entrepreneurial and focused on things that will bring benefit to the Nkwashi community. So that was exciting to see that. And then on the residency program, we've increased the number of approved applicants up to 152 from a couple of weeks ago, where it was up below 100, I believe. And so we've had thousands of interested people in that program, nearly 400 applicants and 150 that are approved. In the next sprint, we'll be thinking more about how to accelerate them into residency and what are the next steps of how to actually get them to move to the city. And then with all of our marketing, the Artist in Residence, with the Nkwashi Marathon, we're thinking about a new hashtag, or we started using a new hashtag, Live at Nkwashi. And so we hope to see that one start trending over the coming weeks and months. On the product side, the main area of progress was the form design and management. We now have the ability to have native forms in Double GDP, and this is great because it allows us to attach workflow to those forms and tracking changes. And you'll see more about that soon, but this gives us the ability to be able to give somebody an update, for instance, when their form has been approved or when their form has last been edited or something like that. So it's a small step this sprint, but towards a very powerful idea. We had also hoped to accomplish workflow and design and gate access. Neither of those actually got done in this sprint. The workflow design, we made some good progress on it, but it's still on staging, so we haven't rolled it out. And on gate access, the request that we had come in with was not clear enough at the beginning of the sprint to move it forward. So we decided to hold off on that and revisit it in this next sprint. But we did make some progress on some other really exciting features that have been sort of on our wish list for quite a while now. One is being able to have push notifications in the application, or notifications in the application, which hopefully eventually will grow to push notifications. But now there's always been an icon on the top right that's a bell that tells you if you have new messages. We now have the ability to populate that with the number of messages that are coming up. We have a Boolean filter now on the user page that allows you to see all of the admins with a particular label or all of the users of a particular status. So that's exciting to be able to sort of really hone in on a segment of a user population. And then on the labels themselves, we introduced some editing and merging capabilities to be able to start culling that list. We have probably about 50 different labels, and with thousands of people on different labels and only a few people on other labels. So this will allow an admin to go in and start making those labels more useful to them. And then thinking also about how do we grow population, one of the things that we've realized is that understanding the pipeline of who's interested in what and where they are and what blockers they have is going to be an important thing that we need to be understanding about the population base or about the prospective population base. And so we've introduced a new field called a substatus that has things like interested or ready to move in or starting construction or sort of statuses along those lines. And we rolled that out this sprint, and that's going to allow us to start getting a sense of what kinds of pipelines we might be looking at. So more to come with that feature soon. In the next sprint, we expect the population still to be at 10. This is not something that we expect to grow every single sprint, but more month over month. But we do hope to increase the visibility into the construction status and understand the pipeline that goes into the product population a little bit better. In the product, we want to extend the form design and management, which would allow an administrator to create the form. On the workflow side, we want to roll out the features we started building this sprint so that a product manager can define a workflow on their own. So for instance, one type of workflow that we want to be able to enable is that we can send an email to a prospective resident the moment that their application is approved. So right now that's a manual process. We want to be able to trigger that directly through the application. And then on the gate access side, we understand that request better now, and want to be able to allow visitor access so that somebody who is a resident can say, these are people that I want to be able to come and visit me, and then the guards will be aware of that person coming to the gate and know to expect them. So that's it for this sprint. I look forward to seeing you again in a couple of weeks. Thank you.